the idea that you have in this thing is so cool because it means I could come in with an idea that's kind of rough around the edges and reflect someone older than myself and have it like set back to me, like I'm hearing what I'm saying and it's being broken down. Like, what a fantastic format. I can now go back and be like, is this actually the thing I believe in? Maybe today it was, in this moment it was, but now I've got a chance to go out and get to think about it again. The best.
Cool if we record.
Of course, man. Thanks for that. Dude, it's my pleasure. I think it's like just got to soak up new experiences as they come.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm recording on 4 cameras.
First day in America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And boy, what a day it's been. Just beautiful weather.
You brought your bike with you?
No, I'm super fortunate to reconnect with some old family friends, and they've just been so hospitable.
They're borrowing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. How many miles have you been today, you think?
And I don't really know. I started off coming in at Berry Terminal, and I've been going from all around all the piers, all through the city. Kind of lost track at this point.
Yeah. Do you know how to get back?
I think I just hugged the coastline, right?
Yeah. I think it's the water on the right or water on the left, something like that, right?
Shit, I hope so.
What's your name?
Oscar.
Oscar.
Yes, sir.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm David.
David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. That's Cosmo. And so, basically what this is about is to see if your reasoning is sufficient enough to your own satisfaction to support the confidence that you have in a particular conclusion being true.
Right.
So, have a conclusion, a belief, conscious assumption that you want to explore the reasoning behind to see if it's solid enough to support the confidence that you have in it being true.
Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about this a little, but how people come in and out of your life, and the idea that maybe you thought it was them, but in actuality, it's usually you who's drifting apart. I'd often blame someone else for the distance and the separation. But recently I've had a chance to reconnect with a few people in my life who I hadn't spoken to in some time. And it was actually a great personal work that was achieved. They themselves had not, well, they of course had changed, but they were waiting on me. And I'd always thought that was them.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you've been able to reconnect. That's important. How could we put this into a statement that you think is true?
Well, maybe I think the statement that is true is, or at least in my case, is that no one ever leaves your life unless you want them to. And that can be conscious or a subconscious thing. Like, I believe that no one's ever gone from your will. It is your choice. It's a weird thing to think about. But I'm happy to spitball some other ideas if you want some.
Oh, whatever is meaningful to you. Like, if you found out that this was not true, how would that change your behavior?
Oh, such a good question. Well, if it wasn't true and it wasn't my choice that people were leaving, I think I'd adopt a more existential approach to my life. Like I stop caring about people as much as I currently do. Because if I had no choice as to how people were choosing to interact with me, I'd feel at the mercy of too many things. I'd get a bit depressed.
Okay. That's kind of about how you would see things and how you would feel. I'm curious what changes in the actual behavior.
And the behavior? Well, I think for starters, I would stop trying to make new friends.
Okay.
Because if the friendships I'd have, if they were there for a long period of time, I would just hang on to that and not feel the need to explore further. Because if a person came into my life and then vanished at the drop of a hat, I would see no need to invest in them. The idea of having control over my relationships and the time frame of them is something that I think provides a lot of purpose to how I interact with people.
Okay. So it sounds like the claim is you are responsible for the strength of your relationships. Like you have the sole responsibility about how strong your relationships are.
Yeah. I'd say so.
You put that all the responsibility on the strength of the relationship on yourself.
I'd say so. You set your own energy, right? Like, if you want a friend who is going to communicate with you and be active in planning events that you enjoy together, then it takes a certain amount of dedication to set, like, you've got to expose someone to the idea that this is what's happening. We're doing this. And the more they're exposed to it, the more it becomes almost second nature.
Okay. So and I'm speaking for you. I'm solely responsible for the strength of my relationships. Okay. And what is the reason that supports this the most?
Reason or an example of this is the communication I have with my friends back home after being away for some time. Often when you leave a person's life, the absence, the need to communicate isn't on their end because you've chosen to leave, right? And so I've had to take it upon myself to message my friends and keep that relationship going, saying, keep letting them know that I'm there, that everything they're doing in their life. And honestly, some days I wish they'd just spilled, just let it all out. And I have to take that initiative to let them know that, distance hasn't changed the way I feel about even the mundane for them.
Okay.
And truthfully, I feel as though I'm the only one really doing that. The ratio of me reaching out compared to them is it's completely disproportionate. And I don't begrudge them that at all, though. I think that's just the reality of it.
Okay. Can you think of any other explanations that could be other than your responsibility
as to why things like people could leave?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think another reason why I think people could feel a need to put distance or leave is that they themselves are on their own path, right? That that's their individual choice. They're going, okay, I feel like I need to go somewhere different and put this distance in. And it's, it's down to you to decide whether that's right. And so sometimes you can get so caught up in the idea of like, it's me, me, me. And when a friend leaves, you go, well, I've been trying everything in my power to do this, but like opening it up to the idea that like they themselves have their own thoughts about you and your relationship, and they realize they need to grow, it flips it on its head. It becomes that two-way stream again. You go, okay, well, maybe you can't ask too much either. I think you're gonna got to have their space.
Right. And when you say leave, do you mean leave the relationship?
Yeah, in a sense, I think you emotionally tapped out.
Okay. So if we have a pie chart here.
Yep.
And if the relationship ends, are you saying with your claim that I'm solely responsible for the strength of my relationships, are you saying that whole pie chart is your responsibility on how strong the relationship is? Because it sounds like if you're saying you're solely responsible for it, you're saying what I'm hearing is you're the whole. Is that accurate?
I think so. The strength of the relationship, or at least the way you view it. But I think the responsibility shifts. Like, I still feel 100% responsible of my relationships with my friends, even if they're gone, because then I've got to change the way I interact. Like, I have to somehow convey to them that I'm always there. Even if they don't want to speak, I have to make it known that, like, I still have that love for them. That means that whatever point down the line they want to reconnect, like, they feel they can. And so my responsibility is still 100% committed to them and from me to make sure that, like, they still feel loved and appreciated.
And if they don't come back, it's still your responsibility?
Well, yeah, because then I'm just not the person that they need in their life. But those are my choices and my actions, right? Like, if I'm not fitting with the trajectory they're going, that's not their fault at all. Like, they have control over their life and what people will want to see. But if I'm no longer fitting into their jigsaw of life, like their puzzle, then that's me. That's my choice. The things that I've done. And I would, if I would have it my way, I'd love to be able to say, like, hey, what was it about me that changed, that stopped you being so interested? And I'd love to have that discussion with them, because then that gives me the chance to, if there are people who are similar and stay, I could change, or I could model my behavior in a way that made them feel more comfortable.
Yeah, sounds like you're still putting all of the responsibility on yourself. The strength of the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can kind of play with a hypothetical here.
Sure.
Let's say that relationship ended and it was not 100% your responsibility.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
I think it looked like miscommunication, or a lack of desire to communicate. Something within them, or something within myself that we were unable to bring to the forefront. I think it was too painful, or maybe it was too awkward. So if that had changed, I think it looked like a complete communication breakdown.
Okay. So would you say that the lack of communication is 100% your responsibility also?
It's a good question. I guess not, man. That's something out of my control. But I try at least to, put that on myself to open those conversations up.
Sure. If there's parts of this that are out of your control, which is what it sounds like you're saying to me, how can you put 100% of the responsibility on yourself?
So true. I think that's just tied into deeper things, like a complete desire to want to hold on to the things I had that were good. And I will place it on myself because that's easier to compartmentalize in my head. Like there was something I could do. I feel like it fuels a certain type of growth in myself that hasn't been super harmful, even though I think the concept of it roughly is quite like negative himself, and stressful. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd still feel that way, even though I wouldn't want it. Right?
Do you think that you'd be justified in putting 100% of the responsibility on yourself, even though it contains aspects that you say you have no control over?
Yeah, honestly, I do. I do feel justified in that because I want to give 100% of myself, and I want to commit all that responsibility.
But you do that, and the relationship still failed.
Sure. I haven't had it happen yet that not yet in my life, but I'm absolutely certain that can happen. I've seen it. Well, I guess that's like what a marriage is in a way, like you're both trying to put up 100, but in reality, it's never going to like split that way. Sometimes those fail. So
you're certain of that. You're certain of that can happen. That even though you give 100% in a relationship and it still doesn't work, how does that affect how much responsibility that you put on yourself?
I think it wouldn't change that much. I feel like that's what the kind of grieving of losing a relationship. It's like it's manifesting out of yourself because you're kicking yourself that something has happened and it hasn't gone the way you want. Their responsibility's all there and all that guilt, but it's just kind of coming out and you're grieving that loss.
Do you see any downsides in putting 100% responsibility on yourself for a relationship not working?
Yeah. I think the downside of it is that trust gets broken and it gets harder to be built back up. You lose your faith in people, and I find I'm completely unwilling to admit that, and I go through these weird phases where like I feel no need to go out and be social or interact with people, and then after a period of time I realize it's like because I just stopped at a point trusting because I felt like I'd given my all, I blamed myself to the fullest, and nothing had come of that. So I don't know, it's like a negative way to look at it. Like I'd way rather have that grieving and have that loss of connection, go out and just try again and have that same rinse and repeat if it kept happening, because then it's like I walk out proud knowing that all the decisions that I had made in that relationship, I had weighed heavily on myself and it had meant a lot to me. It's gone like, I'm going to be sad, but I'm going to try again with someone else and maybe they'll match it, and that's going to be super exciting.
Okay. Let's say, another hypothetical.
Yeah.
Let's say you were not justified in putting all the responsibility on yourself for a failed relationship. Let's say that you did not have justification for that. Would you want to know?
Yeah, always. I absolutely would want to know.
How could you find out?
I guess that's just like the way the world, like maybe you're allowed to know, maybe you're not. If I talked with the people that I trusted and they had expressed to me they didn't feel that it was 100% on me, I would like to hear why they thought that way.
Why?
Because their difference in their point of view is what I value in that relationship.
Okay.
And the things that their personality brings to the table. So if they see it a certain way, and I know that they give 100%, and they often do the same thing, put so much of the blame on themselves, then they are seeing it in an objective way, and they understand how I'm feeling. I would trust them a lot to kind of almost rid me of it.
You would trust them enough to maybe be convinced that it's not all your fault?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a very select few people, though. It's like maybe one or two people who are like, yeah, I trust you.
Yeah.
Like the echo chamber is a violent place to be in.
What if you were in a relationship with somebody that felt the same way that you did? Could you both have 100% of the responsibility?
Oh, question. I didn't experience it, so I wouldn't know, but the hypothetical's so cool. I think you could. Yeah, I think you could 100% blame yourself, but just there's something about the shame or the kind of internal emotions would never help you bring it out. Like you could fully.
That's not what I'm asking.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
could both people be responsible to 100%? It's like 100% of the pie.
Oh, I get you. You're right.
I'm asking, could both people hold 100% of the responsibility in the failed condition?
I guess, like, just by the law of math, no. You're splitting it up.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't think it changes the way you feel about it. So, like, even though you know there could be something, you could know there'd be something that's highly your fault. I don't think that ever changes the way you kind of hold it.
Can I go a little bit deeper here?
Bro, please.
What's informing the feeling?
The feeling of responsibility?
Of 100% responsibility.
I think what's important is, like, I just feel like almost like a sense of duty to make other people's lives straight as well as my own. And when I can't, I feel awful because it's causing people you love like an unnecessary grief in a way. Maybe it is necessary, but I absolutely think that 100% is informed by just wanting to make people like be happier. For sure.
That's admirable. Can feelings cause us to have an inaccurate assessment of the situation?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay, well, if that's the case, and it's based on that, are you still at 100?
Yeah, this is the thing I thought about a bit, was the fact that, like, I know I probably have an inaccurate view on how things are done, or like how much responsibility is on me. But it's just that feeling has brought me to so many great moments as well, and has also, it's for like a motivation to keep on trying. That for all the kind of bad it does to me, I think it's completely outweighed by the good that it can do for others and myself.
There are some things that are more important to you than to have an accurate assessment of the situation.
Yeah, I feel it. It's probably like just some deep set trauma or something, but yeah, I think I do, like, just, people have to call it people pleasing, and to an extent, I think that's so true. I think I do, but I've gotten a little bit better at confronting others.
That's why I was curious about the downsides.
Yeah, I've gotten better at confronting others, and it still doesn't change. It still doesn't change much. Like, I don't think.
Are you open to changing your mind about that?
I'd love to change my mind about that. I think it's just a part of the age I'm at right now. And I'm 24 and I've kept a very close circle and for a long time now. A lot of my friends I've had since I was 10 or 11 years old. And I've left home now, moving overseas, and I think that a part of that is wanting to see what relationships are like from scratch now.
Sounds like this idea is working for you currently.
It definitely brought a lot of great things into my life, for sure.
And that's more important than having an accurate assessment of the situation. At least for now. I'd like to say that, like, with this kind of 100% responsibility, it's with friendships where, like, you couldn't even keep track of who's in the right and who's in the wrong. There's so much time involved. It's like that chalkboard where you
can,
okay, you did this, so I'm going to make a mark here. Okay, I did this, so, and like trying to keep score kind of thing.
Days since incident, there's so much involved that, like, it's not worth bringing out receipts.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Well, you have any questions for me? We can wrap it up.
Yeah. Do you feel the same? Like, do you place a lot of burden on yourself?
I don't think it's fair to put 100% of the responsibility on myself for a failed relationship.
Yeah. Did you have that at a point in your life?
Probably not. I can't think of a time where I would think that it would be fair to myself to put all of the responsibility on myself for a failed relationship.
Sir, like this.
Is that so? Do you think that makes me a bad person?
No way.
Okay.
No way. Like, everyone's entitled to the way they choose to interact with others. So
there might be a difference here because I do want my assessments of situations to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's not as important to you.
Nah, not right now.
That may be the reason why we have daylight between us. And frankly, I'm fine with that. I'm not here to convince you to take my position. I'm here to help you critically reflect on the quality of the reason that you're using to support your confidence in an idea like this.
Oh, hell yeah. The idea that you have in this thing is so cool because it means I could come in with an idea that's kind of rough around the edges and reflect someone older than myself and have it, like, set back to me, Like, I'm hearing what I'm saying and it's being broken down. Like, what a fantastic format. I can now go back and be like, is this actually the thing I believe in? Maybe today it was, in this moment it was, but now I've got a chance to go out and get to think about it again. The best.
It's really coming down.
That was great. Cool. Anything else you want to say?
Just 24-year-old ramblings.
It's really coming down.
It was so good to meet you.
Hey, man.
I hope that how long are you going to be here in the States?
Ooh. That was really bright. I will be in the States for 2 months.
Sweet.
I think. Yeah, 2 months. I'm seeing some family up in Oregon and just hanging out with them.
Awesome. I might see you in Oregon because that's the route I'm taking.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you swing by Jacksonville,
Okay.
hey, say hi.
Oscar.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Great to meet you.
Yeah, really nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, Cosmo.
And I hope to make it to your beautiful country.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, with this play, right?
Maybe it's our winter.
Yeah, exactly.
Not least of which, for the reason that it is one of the most secular nations on the planet.
Oh, yeah, no, that's something that's crazy about America, but
In contrast to my country, where there's a lot of fundamentalist religious people,
yeah, I'd say, yeah,
especially in the middle.
you're like Swiss sneaky religious. Like, you wouldn't realize how many people actually are.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because I think the lifestyle is so laid back.
Survey that they're not.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people kind of hold their beliefs to themselves and you try not to like. So, at least I think so.
Depends on the environment they're in, I think.
Yeah, it's a great example of like weak religion. No, yeah, our country. It's a big crowd that like 90% of the population had smoked it once in their life and didn't go through. And it's like, you ask people why they voted no, they were like, really at the core of it was this kind of religious value that they be wrong.
Yeah.
But it didn't pass by 0.2%. Rating. Yeah. So you guys just chill out here into the church. We've been going down different fights. With Agni here. Yeah.
But I was here in April, last April.
Yep.
A year ago, April.
Back bench.
Same bench. So we kind of came back to the same spot.
To see if we can get some time.
Yeah.
That's cool. Man, what an experience. And that is rambling, so that may not be good content, but
I thought that was great. And if you're okay with it being recorded.
yeah, man, I think it, like, thing is, I talked about my breeds a lot, like that exact thing. So if they see it, they're just gonna be like, well, he's at it again. So listen, he's playing the fake string on that guitar.
Well, I mean, not everybody's very skills. Dude. You can scare work to it by the sign there. It'll take you right to it. And then his intrepid chip